Okay, chaps. Hope you're well. Hope you had a good Christmas, and hope you're settling down to do some revision for your mocks. Um, Namely, really DT revision, because you've got quite a lot to do to prepare yourself for that hour and a half paper that you're going to be sitting. I think it's the second week back. I think it's on the Wednesday, the second week. I think that's right. Um, but yeah, you've all had your first revision lesson in that final week. I know that some of you were away on the rowing camp, so I've produced a YouTube clip and I think I sent it to you all on Teams. If you're in my group, or I think if you're in Mr. Conroy's group, if anyone else wants that and watches this video, then you're more than welcome just to get in contact with me and I'll send it over to you as well. But there's also a second lesson and only one group, which I think was Frank's group, was taught the second lesson. And therefore, Ranvir's group and Mr. Vaughan's group have not had this second lesson because we sat down and we went through casing designs. And so by the time you get back for those workshop days, we've got everything sorted out. You've got your CAD done, you've got your materials, and you're completely prepared to make the most of those 2-day sessions. Right, so let's crack on with this first, what's going to be quite a short video, because we're just going to go through the theory side of things, which is a product analysis. And then I'm going to make a different video where I'm going to use a pencil and a piece of paper. And so I'm going to just record that in a different way. Right. So section C. So we can just jump back onto there. Okay, section C, product analysis, unit 6, and drawing techniques. And so what are we going to do first? We're going to have a look at this, which should all seem familiar to you because we went through it at the end of the first lesson. We got to this part. Now, what I would say when you get this sort of question, you should be looking at the information that's already been given to you. Now, obviously, you have visual information here and you have a specification. Each one of these specification points is going to relate to part of the question. Okay, each part of this design is going to relate to part of the question as well. And with this question, we have 3 parts. And so once you've digested, it's lightweight, it's comfortable to wear, low power consumption, easy to replace the batteries, adjustable volume control, and on-off switch. Okay, and then you look at this, you've got a transparent tubing. It's reasonably small around the ear. It's a sort of browny pink in colour. It's not like a turquoise or something, so it sort of matches skin tones. That fits quite nicely, doesn't it, in the ear. We have some sort of control, I think, maybe an on and off switch there, maybe a volume control at the back there, which I imagine are quite easy to get to. It seems like the obvious place to be with your finger or your thumb, maybe, to activate it. That curve there, it definitely echoes the curve of the ear. So we've got a lot of information here. And now we've got to go on to suitability, right, which is the first question, suitability for the user, which I think is a bit of a funny word, really, suitability. It's how well it functions, how well it works. Is it suitable for that particular purpose? So that's one area, which is 4 marks. That's going to be 2 points, 3 points to be safe with justifications. We've then got aesthetics, okay, which is what it looks like, what it feels like, smells like, if it had a smell, taste, if it was a cake or something. And then we've got ergonomics, okay, and you'll know what ergonomics is. It's the way it interacts with the human form. Each one of those is worth 4. What we don't want to be doing is saying, yeah, it's really suitable, it fits the ear really well, and therefore it's really suitable for the user to wear, because that's really to do with ergonomics. And so if I was you, spend 2 or 3 minutes just planning what you're going to write in each one of these sections before you embark on these 3 questions. And so at that point, I'm going to let you fill this in, print it off. I think I can't get any bigger. Print it off and fill it in, or write down these headings. And I would give you probably about 10 minutes, 1 minute per mark to fill all this in. So I'm going to stop there and I'll pick this up once you filled this in. So just pause the video and come back to me once you are finished. So hopefully you've given this a pretty good crack, and you've, one, planned everything, two, digested the information. Well, really, first of all, digested the information, then planned what you're going to put in each section, and then you've put down some pretty good, justified, substantiated points in regards to suitability, aesthetics, and ergonomics. So let's move on and have a look at the answers. What have we got? Suitability for the user. We have water resistance or water resistant, which allows for use when outdoors and does not absorb sweat. That's really good. Of course, it is plastic, which might mean it's relatively uncomfortable as well. Easy to use, locate on and off switch. I talked about that, didn't I? And volume sensitivity control, lightweight. Very good. So it's comfortable to wear for long periods of time. Easy to replace / recharge batteries. So I imagine it's got some sort of micro USB port, which we didn't see, but I think that was a point that was made. So we could have easily answered or made that point. Flexible enough to adapt to different users. Yeah, everyone's ear is round about the same size, and so a variety of different users could use it. However, you could argue that it's not necessarily adaptable to skin color if it wants to be hidden. That might be an issue, because some people's skin is darker or lighter than others. Robust enough to resist knocks, bumps, wear and tear. Hard plastic may be uncomfortable to wear for long periods of time. Plastic casing may cause perspiration against the skin. That might cause a rash, for example, or blisters. Right, aesthetic qualities. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to increase this so I can see it easier. Flesh coloured and transparent to blend in with skin tone and be less noticeable. Main body has a curved profile which fits well to the back of the ear, reflects the back of the ear as well, doesn't it, the shape of it. Round earpiece to fit comfortably in the inner ear. Okay, flexible transparent link between earpiece and the main body for comfort and discretion. Controls are mounted at the rear of the main body so as not to be noticeable to others. Bulky design, old-fashioned design might not appeal to users. I mean, I think if you had to use a hearing aid, many people would prefer to use the earbuds these days, which all young people seem to walk around with in their ears. Maybe that's a better design. Okay, ergonomics. Earpiece is rounded and has a flexible shroud to enable a compression tight fit into the inner ear to prevent it falling out in use. Rear mounted controls make it easy to adjust volume and switch on and off. The hearing aid is lightweight, so it's comfortable when worn for long periods of time. Batteries are small and easily replaced / recharged. Plastic components next to the skin may be uncomfortable, cause sweating in certain conditions. And we can see there's a certain amount of overlap there, but just make sure you're not making the same point in two sections, because you won't be awarded the marks. Let's just go to this there and just see, right, what do you get? Obviously, you write nothing down, you get no marks. Brief points mentioned, but not fully explained. So you've got to explain your points. What it's not going to say, and it never does say, is you must write 2 points down. You must write 3 points down. But I think it's sort of given that if you make a point and you justify it well, that is worth, I would say, nearly 2 marks. So if there is 4 points available, I would try and make 3 different points. Or is there 3 marks available? I'd make 3 different points and try and justify them. Analysis. Present but limited evaluation. Conclusions drawn. May have focused solely on either positive or negative. What they like you to do is to give both positive and negative if you're going to be in the highest box. And so here we are, well described and justified analysis containing full evaluation, drawing conclusions having considered both positive and negative factors. And so it looks like to get the top marks here, you've got to make a couple of points, and then you've got to come up with a conclusion. But that needs to identify both positive and negative factors. So for 4 marks, you've got to do quite a lot here to get everything, or to get the 12 which are available for these 3 different questions. I hope that's helped. I'm going to now stop this video and I'm going to go on to a drawing video, which is really worth watching because it touches on many of the things that you're going to be needed to, or you're going to need to reproduce in that mock exam. Okay,